My name is Mystic Moss, and this is Ask Mystic, a segment of the MMA-Holes where the boys get together, and some girls. We all talk about mixed martial arts, the UFC, and whatever the hell you want to talk about. I'm bored, so that's why I'm here. JBH is murdering people in Fortnite right now, and I've decided to talk to the people, the holes, about what's going on in the world of the UFC, mostly. I was looking through the interwebs, and I was looking at the Robert Whittaker story, and a lot of people were, guessing on what happened to Robert Whittaker. Why is no one saying why he pulled out of his fight with Cannonier? And then it turns out that his daughter's all screwed up. And I was like, that's not cool. So I hope that Robert Whittaker and his family find a solution to the bone marrow situation. It looks like he's donating bone marrow to his daughter or something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that was kind of heartbreaking here. So hopefully that goes well. It seems like Robert Whittaker can catch a break. The guy he's a beast. He lost to Adesanya. It is what it is. You move on. And, he had all those injuries, and now his family is all screwed up, and ugh. But at least his wife's hot, right? I'm having a nice Bud Light. I'm not known for my beer drinking when I was younger. Yeah, I used to drink a lot of beer, but I figured I'd have a nice cold one. Cheers. Refreshing. Okay, my Rangers lost to the Islanders 4-2. Not happy about that, so I need to talk about MMA. So I hope everyone is wonderful in the chat. We're going to have a sexy Tuesday night, and who knows? Maybe Tuesday will be for the boys. Maybe we'll have the boys on Tuesday, the girls on Thursday, the boys on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So let's see. Say hello to the people. Dr. Nate. JBH. Zed. Jake. Brett Baratheon, Richard Sager, Bubba, K-Dub, Morty 469. What's up, Morty? Excuse me. He's really had one bad hand after another he's had to deal with. You can tell he's a stand-up dude. Yeah, Robert Whittaker, if you watch his YouTube channel, he's got that podcast going. And I like that these fighters are starting podcasts and getting ready for life after the UFC. Like you see Aljamain Sterling's doing it too. Some are better than the others. Some are better than others at it. But at least it gives them an out, There's a way, there's a life after the UFC, and that these guys are realizing, hey, let's start something now. God forbid something happens, we have something to fall back on. And I think there's going to be a lot of good podcasts coming out of these fighters, when they retire and yada, yada, yada. Wonderful. Hello from Tennessee. What up, Steven? What's going on? Let's go, McGregor. I'm still riding that high. I'm still enjoying every minute of it. A lot of people are trying to knock the McGregor fans down. You can't do it. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. It's a beautiful thing right now, McGregor. So shout out to the McGregor fans and shout out to everyone. Duke Chronic, what up? What's going on? Duke in the house. The Duke is loose. His fight against Brunson was epic. Yeah, that started off extremely fiery. And how about Derek Brunson? He kind of bounced back, and he's doing all right now. You got to give that ugly duckling Roxanne some credit, Mom. You do. Jens Pulver does Twitch, and now he does YouTube. Will Conor be the first 3-dive champion? The 3-dive champion. Now, is he the first? Now, how does this work? You have 145, 155, and 170 with finish wins, right? Is that? No, he didn't have a finish at. Oh, he did 170. Yeah, 155. Is he the only fighter to have finishes in 3 weight classes? Is there someone else? I don't know. What's going on with that? Help me out. Love Whittaker, but his health ruined so many fights and had division stuck for too long, says King James. Yeah, he held up middleweight. I wish he was a little bit more healthy and was able to compete more because the guy's really good. Let's go to the next Conor fight. Moss says D3C. D3C. So D3C, what do you want to see next for Conor McGregor? What do you want to see? I'm trying to think what I want to see. And I've been thinking about it all day. Like and we were on JBH's channel, and link in the description to Jessie's channel, her IRL channel, where you see some behind the scenes stuff over there. But it's always in the back of my head, like, okay, what is next for a certain fighter? This way, you know, Wednesday show comes, I got it in my head who I think is the fighter. What is my prediction going to be? When it comes to Conor McGregor, I was bouncing around the whole boxing thing, and I bounced it out of my head. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I do see it happening, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I feel like when he's on the tail end, after he's done what he had to do with his season, then he can go into that boxing shit. But the next fight, everyone's just like, Jorge Masvidal, yeah, Jorge. But I don't think that's like the easy answer right now. I don't believe Khabib is not the fight. I don't care what Dana White said. Khabib is not the fight just because of him with Tony Ferguson, of course. You got to assume that's going to happen, and then he's got to take his time off for his religious shit. So I don't think Khabib's next. So who do you have? You have Gaethje. You have Masvidal. You have Diaz. Who else you want to throw in there? I mean, the Aldo thing you throw out the window. Max Holloway, that's kind of lost its luster. Poirier. I noticed that Poirier put something on Twitter, but no one's talking about Dustin Poirier 2-3. It's an option. It is an option. There has to be a fight in between, but it comes down to money. And you look at all these options over here. Who's going to bring the money? Masvidal and Diaz. What makes more sense for Conor McGregor? He fought Diaz twice. Masvidal has that shiny BMF belt. I would say, this is not what I want to see, but for some reason, this is what I believe is going to happen, and it's not really spoken about right now. I would have to say that the Diaz trilogy might be the next fight. I would have to say that. Because if Jorge Masvidal can fight Usman and somehow knock off Usman, which is probably not going to happen, but there is a chance, if they fight, Jorge can win. Then if Conor pulls off a W, it's an easier path to another gold belt over his shoulder. So I would think right now, sitting in on this comfy couch, I would have to say Nate Diaz is probably going to be the option. You can say Gaethje. You got Diaz, you got Gaethje, you got money, or you got, God, I just want to shut this guy up. He's going to go with the money. And for those of you who say, oh, Nate, that's an easy fight. Nate's not that good, yada, yada, yada. Nate beat him once already, and some people thought he beat him the second time. So Nate's a tough opponent for Conor. Matchup-wise, it's tough. So it's not like he's taking an easy path if he does take that fight. But I believe that money-wise and, you know, what can happen after that, win or lose, for some reason that's the one that's sticking in my head right now. Let's see what the chat says. Conor would sleep Gaethje, no cap. I hope not. Have we ever seen Jorge beat up? Says Duke Chronic. Beat up. I mean, he's been dominated, but he hasn't been beat up, right? Wonderboy, pretty much, it was a shit fight, so I can't say that I was beat up. Let's see. Maya, he was dominated, but he wasn't beat up. When was he beat up? Ally Quinta fight was a close one. I thought Jorge won that fight, but he wasn't really beat up. I gotta go through the super chat. Brad Baratheon.
Can we please play the dragon song now, please?
How many subs are we at? Are we letting them loose? I don't know. I don't think we're at the sub goals yet. Hopefully tomorrow night we can do that. Thank you, Brett. That was fucking sweet and wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Brett. All right, Jorge. And if you're just jumping in, we're hanging with the boys right now. We're bullshitting. We're hanging with the peeps. So invite your friends and family. This was an unplanned baby, this stream. I didn't pull out, and this stream came about, so deal with it. All right, Georgie. What up, Georgie? Okay, let me see. Has he ever been beaten up? Okay, 35 wins, 13 losses. Nate Diaz, he owned him. Ben Askren, that was quick. Darren Till, he smacked around. All right, so we go to the Thompson and the Maya fight, which we already talked about. Beat up Cerrone, Ellenberger, Ross Pearson, Lorenz Larkin. Damn. That was a split decision. It was a split decision fight. And Benson Henderson. God, my fucking memory is scrambled. That was 2016. I could barely remember those fights. You know what's funny? I barely remember Larkin and Henderson. Why am I drawing a blank on that? I remember Ali Quinta. There was like a 3-fight. It was like I have a lapse in memory.
Super chat.
Fuck, man.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Nix. Good to see you. You look great tonight. I appreciate you getting dressed up for the occasion. Thank you for the donation. That was sexy. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a fight where Jorge Masvidal was beaten up. So if that was Duke that said that, that's pretty, that's a pretty good point. Conor's timing and accuracy and power make him trouble for anyone, says Richard Sager. McGregor and Cerrone did 2 million pay-per-view buys. Ooh, is that crazy? It was literally all on McGregor's shoulders, if you think about it. Do you put a dance partner with Conor now? And you got like nice McGregor, and God, that's why Dana's foaming at the mouth with the Khabib thing. Because think about the money. The money would be insane. Masvidal would be a big money fight. Diaz would be a big money fight. Those three, just lock it up. Those are fucking mega fights. The reason why we know with Diaz too is when we look at our views on our channel or our fight reactions, Diaz is right up there. Khabib brings the ratings. Conor, of course, but Diaz is right up there. Like he's been money. How about the Rangers? Is Drunk Savage. Hockey's a sport where they have a stick and a puck. I don't know if you've ever watched it before, but they did lose. Who remembers when I said I bet my house on Conor fight? Oh, Travis. I hope you did, man. That was some win. Street Jesus versus the Notorious. It seems like that's the fight. The Gozerian. I like that. The Gozerian. I am the Gozerian. It seems like that's the popular fight, right? Everyone saw the Nate fight twice, so people are kind of over that. I'm not, but Jorge is fascinating. That is a fact. Gaethje, I tell you what, I would like to see Gaethje and Jorge, like both of those. I would love to see both of those fights equally. If you told me you have to pick between Justin Gaethje and Jorge Masvidal, I'm good with both of them. I'm fine with both of those fights. Just as a fan watching a fight, I'm completely fine with those. Or fight with those. Wonderful, wonderful. You can't lose with those two fights. But Masvidal would bring more money, so you would think that they would lean in that direction, right? As a fan, I wouldn't... So now I said, what do I think the UFC might do? I feel that, just at this moment now, I feel that Masvidal's going to fight Usman. Conor's going to do a trilogy with Nate. Khabib's going to fight Ferguson. And then you got some options. If Conor could beat Nate in the trilogy fight, which is not a guarantee, but if he can, you got to think. And I think this version of Conor is going to do even better than the second fight. I believe that tremendously, wholeheartedly. But that's how I think it's going to plan out. What do I want to see as a fan? As a Conor McGregor fan, if you were to say, what do you want to see? I would say Justin Gaethje. And the reason why I would say that is because there are so many people that think Justin Gaethje is God. Like, they think that he's just going to maul Conor. I would love to see Conor go in there and starch him. Just to shut everyone up. I think it would be a nice, not a tune-up fight because he already came back, but a appetizer for these other fights down the road. So if Conor's going to fight fucking, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 times this year, probably 3 most likely. But if he fights, yeah, he's not going to put 4 in there. 2 or 3 times, right? You got to think. I would say 3 times he's going to fight this year. If that's the case, give him Gaethje. Nice easy one. A nice easy fight for Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje. That's what I would like to see. I really would actually like to see that fight. Masvidal knocks out McGregor, knocks out Homer Simpson. Usman gets killed by Masvidal. Man, Amanda, RX. Jessie says Gaethje too. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to have to drag Jessie in here for this. If Gaethje loses to Conor McGregor. What are you going to do, Jesse? I mean, this is bad because we know you pick Justin Gaethje all the time. The only time you won't pick Gaethje is if he fights Khabib. But you always pick Gaethje, and you're going to pick him against Conor, of course, right? What do you do if he loses again? How are you going to handle this? 50 likes! I've got 50 likes. You've got 50 likes. We've got 50 likes. MMA-Holes 50 likes. I've got 50 likes. You've got 50 likes. We've got 50 likes. MMA-Holes 50 likes. I've got 50 likes. You've got 50 likes. We've got 50 likes. MMA-Holes 50 likes. The dislikes can choke on my fucking demonetization. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. You guys are fucking bad. Bad to the bone. That was an angry 50 likes. Justin Jr. says, ask Mystic question. Do you plan on starting your own channel soon? Starting my own channel? Listen. The MMA-Holes is my baby. I'm gonna ride with the MMA-Holes until I die with the MMA-Holes. We got 3 channels over here. 3 channels. JBH's channel, we're trying to revitalize that thing, get that thing going. That's her baby over there for sure. Then Jessie's part of this baby over here. I like Sharon. Sharon's Karen. The dislikes can choke on a dick. Raw and unplugged. Diaz catches every punch with his face and bleeds too much. The scar tissue on Diaz, yeah. Even in the McGregor fights, they would open up each time, right? And you got to think they're worse than ever now. Especially after what Masvidal did to him. I mean, Masvidal really did some stuff. Start your own channel. Mas, you're a JBH co-host on the MMA-Holes, says RX. But Justin Jr. is the main host of your new show. You're his co-host. Conor's punches are more accurate, and he has more power than Jorge, says Steeler Respect. Khabib will ragdoll Nate. So, all right, you want to talk about Conor if he fights Jorge? Let's do it. If Conor McGregor fights Jorge Masvidal, okay? Jorge Masvidal's on some run. The guys, he's doing fantastical, right? Jorge Masvidal gets the BMF belt. He's just been taking care of business. The Darren Till, the Ben Askren, Mr. Rockstar, robe, chest hair, the whole deal, right? I think of it this way. I think Conor McGregor is a Wonderboy, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson level striker. I mean, Wonderboy is that type of striker that he's just got it, you know? If you want to stand and bang with Wonderboy, chances are you're going to lose because Wonderboy can beat you almost any way. He's just that good, Wonderboy. And Wonderboy was on his game and took care of Masvidal. He nullified Masvidal. He's longer, he's lankier than Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, a little bit of a different animal. He is a striker, but he kind of comes in and he does it smart, intellectually, with power. He looks for the kill, like Masvidal. It's a fascinating fight. It's a fascinating matchup. But to say that Jorge Masvidal is too big for Conor McGregor, we can play a little MMA math, or you can do whatever you want to do. We've seen Masvidal in situations where he was outsmarted in fights, right? If you're just talking about pure skill and reaction time and power, Masvidal has that. But when you talk about fight IQ, okay? I know he set up the knee with Ben Askren. That's his team, and I'm sure they're going to have a great game plan for a Conor McGregor. But when you're talking about fighter IQ, if Masvidal doesn't try to drag this out, because Masvidal does have some serious cardio, if he doesn't drag it out into a long, drawn-out, slugfest type fight, Masvidal's not going to win. He's just not. He's not going to win that fight. He is not that much bigger than Conor McGregor. I've met Jorge Masvidal. Great guy. Very nice guy. And he's actually in our intro, the MMA-Holes intro. He's not that big. He really isn't. Maybe he could pack a punch, and the guy's tough as nails. Got a chin on him. He even has the wrestling, too, But I still see Conor winning. I still see him winning that fight. Masvidal is he's good. I don't know if he's very good, though. He's just a little hot right now. Hate to break it to you. Yeah, Conor would get dropped if it was a 5-round. Now, if it goes into the later rounds, I feel Masvidal's power will, keep going. If you look at him versus Nate Diaz, like a lot of people were saying, yeah, Masvidal was slowing down in that fight, Like, you've seen a lot of people saying this, and if they didn't stop that fight, Nate was kind of turning it up a little bit. I saw something a little bit different. I saw, yes, maybe Masvidal didn't have as much oomph on his punches, but he still had enough. He still had enough to make Nate kind of back up a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know about that. McGregor can't beat Till. All right, so why do you think McGregor can't? At 170, okay? Now Till at a middleweight, a full belly Till is a different story, but a drained, drawn Darren Till at 170. I tell you what, McGregor beat Cowboy a hell of a lot quicker than Till did. Till ran through him, but McGregor got it done in 40 seconds. At this point, we can realize that McGregor could beat anybody. He could beat everybody. If his head is right there, in the right place, he could even beat Khabib. It would be tough. Very, very tough. Because not many people could probably no one could beat Khabib. But he can make it very competitive. And you never know. You never know. Conor's going to box somebody this year. You know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say 2020, this is my mystical prediction, he will not box anybody. I know Floyd Mayweather has this whole thing going on. I don't, unless, the only way I see McGregor boxing this year is if he gets Khabib next, or if he gets like a shot at a 170 belt and wins it. Like if he wins some sort of piece of hardware, then I can see him boxing by the end of this year. But I don't think I think the only way he's going to be lined up with a belt is towards the end of the year. So I don't see that. Question for Moss. Jorge beat a drained Till, who was beating him, then KO'd the worst striker in the UFC in 5 seconds. Then beat a durable guy who has more than 10 losses. Change my mind. Says, wait, are you saying something or is it a question? Drained Till was beating the KO, the worst striker in UFC history in 5 seconds. Then beat a durable guy who has more. I'm not sure what the question is, but thank you. Why is Conor's team looking for Justin at 170? LOL, ridiculous. They're looking at Gaethje at 170? I didn't hear anything about that. And that is silly. Conor replaces Tony when he pulls out. Says Pale Monkey. It's possible. Right? If this is the 5th time that fight was supposed to go down, I mean, or maybe Dana White's like, all right, Tony, I'll pay a couple bucks. Sit out. It's a McGregor fight, Khabib. Who knows? I don't know. Yep, his coach said so in the interview. So who? Kavanaugh said that he wants to fight Gaethje at 170? Where's the coffee, says Renee. I don't have coffee tonight. Tonight I have Bud Light. In honor of Cowboy Cerrone, may he rest in peace, I am drinking a Bud Light. Wonderful, wonderful. 155 is 170, no cutting. Conor given belt, then hidden. This MMA ranking is number 1 bullshit. I think McGregor Pacquiao is the fight to make next to you. Greece is real gamer. No. So, I mean, I'll repeat it real quick. I think if McGregor went to boxing now, it would be a huge mistake. I understand he'll make money. I get that. If his goal is just to go in and make some more money, okay. But why? Here's the thing. Why come in for a Cowboy Cerrone tune-up fight, right? Take that fight, win it in 40 seconds, and then say, okay, now I'm going to go to boxing. I mean, unless he does the whole go to boxing and then wait for Khabib thing. But if that happens, then that ruins everything. It ruins the season. And now he's going to train for a specific skill set in boxing and then have to jump back into the octagon and start training on everything else. I feel like it ruins the whole flow. If you want to stay active, you stay in the cage. Right, Jessie? Come on in. Come on. Jessie's one, she's afraid of Ask Mystic.
I'm just admiring you.
She's admiring me. I feel that it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Unless it's a pure money move, and then if that's the case, I'd be very disappointed. You're wrong. The beer all day. Khabib is likely to retire after beating Tony. Khabib, honestly, he dominated Conor. No excuses, says. And you think he's going to retire? I feel that Khabib, he has a shitload of money, and he could retire. But I think one last dance is there. Unless Ferguson beats Khabib, then I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think one more dance is there. You know what's funny about this whole thing is I'm picking Tony Ferguson. I'm picking Tony Ferguson. I got to stick to my guns. I've picked him since they were trying to make this fight 3 fights ago. I was picking Tony Ferguson. I'm like, Tony's going to beat him. Why? Because I feel he's more well-rounded. I feel everyone's like, oh, Khabib dropped Conor. He dropped the drunk. He dropped the drunk. Go ahead, sit down. Sit down. Let's sit down.
Let me just say this real quick because I can't.
Go ahead, sit down with you. I know. Yeah, Khabib.
So, look at what Khabib did to Dustin Poirier. Not just Conor. Look at what he did to Poirier. Look at what he did to all of his past opponents, really. He has a different technique for every fighter, right? So, realistically, even if Ferguson is more rounded and better fighter stylistically than Conor, that doesn't mean anything because Khabib changes his style and his technique for every fighter.
Has Khabib ever fought anyone that thinks his son is Jesus Christ? No. Tony Ferguson is the only fighter that thinks his son is actually Jesus Christ. Tony Ferguson's a fucking psychopath. He is a psychopath. Now, what, Ferguson's going to be, 36? Is he 35 or 36 years old? He's not getting any younger, but he hasn't been fighting too much, right, as of late. So hopefully he's healthy. He's keeping himself in shape, and he's ready to go. A healthy Tony Ferguson's a problem. I am curious to see if he does cut up Khabib in any way, because we've never seen blood come out of Khabib's face. But Ferguson's a problem. I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to stick with the underdog in Tony Ferguson, just because he's a nut job.
Ferguson will definitely be his toughest opponent, for sure.
Easily his toughest opponent.
100%. There will be no other opponent Khabib's face that is going to be more challenging than Ferguson, but I think that with the way that Khabib changes his style, Ferguson...
You see Tony Ferguson's hairline? That's a man that wants to win. If you have a hairline like that at 155, you're going to win. Khabib's got that Eddie Munster fucking Widow's Peak shit going on. Yeah. The recede, more powerful. Tony's recede, and he's got all that anger in his hair falling out and his fucking weird ears.
Receding, and he lost against Khabib.
Connor's hair was flowy when he fought Khabib. Then he lost it. It started receding after the Khabib fight. He got stressed.
Receding during the Khabib fight.
Did you see him knock out Cowboy? The shit was flowing in the wind.
Yeah, with the receding hairline. And the bald front and back. The reason he comes back like that is the bald front.
No, it's not. His hair's so full and luscious. What is she talking about? I think the receding hairline for the win. Roxy beats Conor. Roxy's the new GOAT, for sure. Roxy is the GOAT. He might freak out when he sees his own blood. Man, he's like, ew, it's this. I mean, imagine Tony Ferguson, like Khabib, gets him on the ground, which is probably going to happen. Tony Ferguson on the bottom is just fucking right in Khabib's face. Right? Just one after a fucking another. What's Khabib gonna do? How's he gonna snip his crotch when there's a fucking elbow in his face every 5 seconds? What is he gonna do? He's gonna go in like this. He's gonna fucking come in from the side. He's gonna spin around for pink like this. Tony Ferguson for the upset. I could keep on picking the underdog because the fight's never going to happen. Remember I predicted the fight's not going to happen again? I'm going to stick to that too. So I always win. I pick Tony Ferguson because he's the underdog, but he never fights him, so I don't have to worry. Yeah. No, that's right. I like holding them. I like holding them in my hands. Why is Ferguson net worth less than $1 million? Because, and thank you for the question, Derek. I appreciate it. Because he's not a draw. It's that simple. He's got that buzz now, like everyone that, like, all joking aside, like there are people that just don't like Khabib for whatever reason it is. They want to see him lose.
It's like Conor. There's people that you either hate him or you love him. There's no.
But I like Khabib though. Here's it. Like, I think he's fucking funny. Like, I watch all of his interviews. I watch his back and forth with Daniel Cormier when he's training and shit like that. I like Khabib. I think he's a funny dude. I really do. So I have no hatred for the guy. I just kind of want to see him lose for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe because she's like, well, you ever have a friend, or perhaps a wife or a girlfriend, that likes something so much, like I like Conor. She used to like Conor, but maybe because my love of Conor McGregor, now she hates him. Okay. Well, not hates him. Maybe that's why you root against him. Because it's fun to watch me lose, right?
Nauseating. Like when you live with someone who's constantly high up on someone, it can be nauseating.
See? And she's like that with Khabib. But the difference is, my team has lost. She has like the Yankees, She's got the team with the fucking 27, where is it, 27 or 28 championship? I think it's 27. I don't know. The fucking guy that has, was he 28-0? Khabib? He's 28-0 now? Yeah, so the Yankees got 27 championships. Khabib's 28-0. You root for the fucking Yankees. That's why I can't do it anymore. I need the underdog to win. Khabib only fights one time a year. Boring, says Casey. That's another problem. And listen, Conor's taken off too. He's taken off a long-ass time. But if people don't remember, people forget, on Conor's run, though, he wasn't turning anything down. He was fighting a ton of times a year. So, Conor was an active fighter. Khabib's had fights where he's just laid on people. The ground and pound's pretty vicious, but he's held people down to win fights. Khabib. Conor's never done that. Conor looks for the kill. Khabib's just not my cup of tea. Now, Kamaru Usman is a different story. For some reason, even though he's the type of guy that drags you down to the ground and kind of sniffs your jock, look at what happened with Colby Covington. A complete stand-up fight, and it was fun. Khabib fought Ally Quinta, and Khabib was like toying with his food with that fight. When he fought Al's filled in. Khabib knew he could beat him. I mean, you can just tell. Khabib didn't even want to take it to the ground anymore. Al did a great job getting out of certain situations with his wrestling.
Al definitely had the best defense of the opponents he's faced.
But I felt with that fight, and even watching that fight back, I felt that Khabib was playing with his food.
Yeah, it was like a John Jones effect.
He didn't give a fuck. He was like, all right, I'll stand and bang with this dude a little bit. Let's. It was almost like they were sparring. They were having a training. They were training with each other and they were sparring.
But Al had to be careful. You have to remember that was a last-minute fight for Al, and also, even though Al's good at his wrestling and his ground game, he had to be careful not having that training against someone like Khabib. So, he had to play it safe. So, of course, it was a boring fight, but I think the way he played it was very smart.
Yeah, it wasn't boring. There was entertaining moments in it. There was, because, it was fun to watch. Khabib was going to get that belt, and, it was at MSG and the whole thing. Was it MSG? No, it was at the Barclays Center, right?
Yeah, Barclays.
So, but there have been fights where it's just been lame fights. Has there ever been a lame Conor McGregor fight? Give me one. Zero.
Let's see. We've got Jose Aldo, Dennis Seaver. Those were not boring.
Zero, Jesse. Max Holloway was the only one that went. Oh no, Max Holloway and Diaz too went to decision. Both fun fights.
That other Diaz fight, yeah, that one is arguable. If you're gonna go based off of all of Conor's past fights, it was a bloodbath.
Diaz 2 sucked?
No.
That shit was fire. We just watched it again.
Let's see. Is there anyone that Conor fought that was boring?
None, Jesse. None.
Think about this.
None. He's smoking everybody. Max Holloway and Nate Diaz 2 were the decisions.
Yeah.
He lost to Khabib, but that went 4 rounds, right? So he even still went 4 rounds with that fucking thing.
That was still an exciting fight. Because of
it would have been exciting if Khabib didn't stop fucking hugging him.
No, it was exciting.
Sniffing his jock.
It was exciting because it was a champ versus Conor McGregor.
Think about the one fight that could be the suckiest fight that Conor's ever fought. Think about the one fight that you could make the argument was the worst fight that Conor McGregor was in to watch. What was the one fight? Khabib Nurmagomedov.
No, it was not. I disagree.
The fucking guy. Sniffing jocks. I hear myself in the background too. Anyway. John Jones has never had a boring fight, and he's actually defended his belt multiple times. I brought this up in the other stream. There have been boring fights with John Jones.
Anthony Smith was pretty boring.
Anthony Smith wasn't great.
Second Gustafson fight was kind of boring. Or the first Gustafson.
First Gustafson fight was great. The Rashad Evans fight, that sucked ass.
I offer this. Where does Kevin P fit into this?
Kevin P fighting Alex Oliveira. Whew. That's a good fight. If Kevin Lee could beat Oliveira, he's right back in the mix again. And you look at what happened with staph infection fight against Tony Ferguson. You know, he did all right. Kevin Lee is still young, 27 years old. Do I like Kevin Lee? No. But I respect his talent. I think he's a skilled athlete. Put his head together, and he's not bad. Did you know Khabib fought at 170 before coming to the UFC? Yes. Someone said to me in the chat in a previous stream that Khabib fought at 170 when he was fighting those cans in Russia. I think he fought a Russian garbage can at 170. And now he'll never go to 170. But I'm not going to kill him for that. That's his prerogative.
Super chat.
Mike Jones.
For best jiu-jitsu of all Khabib prior opponents.
Best jiu-jitsu is Ferguson. I tell you what, I would say Tony Ferguson is the best mixed martial artist of all his opponents. I would say because he has everything. Not only does he have the jiu-jitsu, he has wrestling, he has his stand-up is so quirky and unorthodox. I would literally say he's the best at everything that Khabib's faced. And if Khabib beats Tony Ferguson and dominates Tony Ferguson, I mean, there's not much you can say bad about Khabib. Tony Ferguson is the GOAT. I remember how I could not stand Tony Ferguson in the Ultimate Fighter. I couldn't fucking stand him. I couldn't stand him. I thought he was a real asshole in the Ultimate Fighter. And then what does he do? He comes into the UFC and he's just been great. You know? He's got that long ass winning streak now and he deserves it. Tony deserves it. And I think his character's a hell of a lot better, too. Like, if you watch him in interviews, he's more likable now than he was when he was younger. When he was younger, he was just like this weird cocky, but just like an asshole cocky. You know? Now he doesn't make sense sometimes, but he's still likable. He's more likable, I should say. Yes, sir! Flat Earth. Shake hands. Shake hands with the flat one. Khabib is the GOAT, says Rick. Listen, he beats Tony Ferguson. What are you going to say? The question is this. If he beats Tony Ferguson, do you start thinking about putting him ahead of John Jones in pound for pound? Jessie already wants to put him ahead of John Jones. I'm still going to go with no. But say if John Jones loses to, what's it called? What's his face? Brain fart. Dominic Reyes. Fuck. Having a complete brain fart. Say he loses to Dominic Reyes, right? And Khabib beats Tony Ferguson. You look at Dominic Reyes, who is an up-and-coming undefeated fighter, you know, still young, and then Tony Ferguson, who's a veteran, and if Khabib, you're gonna see people screaming for Khabib to be the number one pound for pound. You know, I still don't think. I don't know, man. Fuck. If Jones loses and Khabib wins, you know what? You might put Khabib number one. Yeah, I guess you would do that. Tony submits Conor any which way he wants to, says Chris. Okay, so let's talk about if Tony Ferguson was to fight Conor McGregor. Now, this is an interesting one. I believe Tony Ferguson, I've been saying this for a while, I believe Tony Ferguson is the best 155er. I do believe that. So if he was to fight Conor McGregor, I would need to see something more from Conor in order to say, okay, you know, Conor's got this. But I think Conor has the tools to stop it going from the ground. I also see Conor not engaging into that with Tony Ferguson. Super chat. Prisons.
People criticize what they're afraid of. Khabib.
People criticize what they're afraid of. So you're saying why? Because he's a guy that likes to take you down and hug you, and they criticize that they're afraid of it? I mean, listen, it's mixed martial arts. It's a part of the game. And if you can't stop that part of the game, then what can you do, right? Man Talk Tuesday with Mystic. That's right, Mike Jones, the boys. Hanging with the boys. Make sure you smack the shit out of like. Just smack it up.
Super
Brett!
Khabib wishes he was Conor will never have glory.
Nah, that's music to my ears. Habib wishes he was Conor. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if I could go with that. But Dana White, according to Dana White, Khabib's worth more money than Conor. He's sure not spending it on like crazy shit. Yeah, I don't know about that. But thank you, Brett. You're the best. Conor will knock Tony out. Tony will get knocked out by Khabib. Conor will never beat Khabib, says keyboard warrior. It's easy to say, right? Nix.
If Tony wins, Conor still fights Khabib first.
Okay, so let's talk about if Khabib loses. Okay? I feel that Conor Khabib can be a fight at any time. If Khabib's a champ, if Khabib's not the champion. But the only reason why I'm thinking it might not happen if Khabib loses is Conor might be like, okay, I can't fucking beat this guy. Let's give Tony a go. That's the only reason why I think that, like, if Khabib loses, I feel that Khabib win or lose, it's a great fight with Conor for a rematch just for money reasons. Like, the UFC would love to make it regardless, just make this mega super fight, you know? But for something tells me that if Khabib does lose this, Conor's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna try to skip the line and get to Tony and try to see if I can beat him. What do you think about Khabib's dad asking for $100 million for the McGregor rematch? Listen, when the cards line up and say Khabib gets past Tony Ferguson, there is nothing that Khabib is going to say that's going to stop this fight from happening. Dana White is going to sit down with them and he's going to give him an offer he can't refuse. That's how I look at it. I think there's just too much money to be left on the table for them not to have a rematch. Is it what I want to see next? No. But I think maybe a fight, Ferguson, if he beats Ferguson, if Conor beats his next opponent, you got to do it. You can't get what you, get what you don't ask for, says Mike Jones. Hey, let's fight, but no wrestling, says Presence. That's what Tyson Fury wants to do. That's what he wants to do. And, I believe that, let's talk about Khabib and Ferguson, okay? I mean, like there's a part of me that can make an argument how if Conor comes into the Khabib fight in a different way, approaches this fight differently, I can make arguments to how it can go the distance or how Conor could put Khabib in a little bit of trouble. But still, for Conor to win that fight, I still need to see more from this new version of Conor McGregor. I need him to fight one more time to pull something out of this and say, okay, there's something different here. So I can't really figure out how Conor would beat Khabib in a rematch. So the only thing we can really talk about is Ferguson and Khabib, right? That's the only thing we can really wrap our head around. We can hypothetically say, whoa, if Conor does this and that, or Khabib is gonna. It's so easy to say Khabib destroys Conor in the rematch. It's so easy to say that. Like, the guy's undefeated. No one's beaten him. So it's not like a fucking when you say that. It's harder to try to make an argument for the other side. So talk about Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. It's a whole different story there. Tony's run at what's it called? In the UFC, hasn't he won more fights in the UFC than Khabib, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong about that, but hasn't Tony Ferguson, doesn't he have like a longer streak within the UFC of wins? Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's the case. So look at it that way. Also, if you look at Khabib's opponents as of late have been tougher and tougher. I think Ferguson had a pretty damn tough path. Who are you picking for Adesanya versus Yoel? I'm still gonna stick with Adesanya, maybe to be the heel. I might try to angle for Yoel to win this fight. I kind of want to see Yoel winning this fight because I think it's hilarious to see a guy off of 2 losses fight for the belt, especially that he's over 40 and looks like a Ninja Turtle. The heavyweight drama. Where does Kevin Lee fit into all of this? The heavyweight drama? Kevin Lee? What? Izzy all day. Joe Rogan is hoarding human organs. Wonderful, wonderful. Romero will KO Stylebender. Says, you think so? Hey, he's been knocked out before the UFC, right? Is he? Does Yoel Romero have it in him to knock out Israel Adesanya? I would say yes. I think he does. I think Yoel is going to be a little bit of a problem for Adesanya. But Adesanya is so intelligent. He's a... God, it kills me to say this. It hurts my soul. Because I really wasn't on the Adesanya train. And I still don't feel like I'm completely on board. But I can't deny what he did to Robert Whittaker. And I'm a man of my word. I said if he beats Bobby Knuckles, I'll give him his respect. But it hurts me. It hurts me. Mike Jones, what up, Mike?
Samba versus Jiu-Jitsu equals Khabib v Ferguson plus min STRKNG.
Sambo versus Jiu-Jitsu. Khabib versus Ferguson. What is better, right? The Jits or the Sambo? The Sambo is vicious. When I went back, it was funny. A couple of fights ago with Khabib, I would always make the mistake of saying he's got the wrestling. And then I got corrected by the audience. And that's the great part of having this community, because I'm just a fucking fan. So I started doing some research on Sambo, and I was like, holy shit. That is nasty. Like, that Sambo shit is fucking nuts. It really is. And you can train your kids from, like they're little cubs. And they're just jumping on top of people and just pounding their face. And, like, it's fucking nuts. So Sambo versus Jiu-Jitsu. If you want to make that the storyline for this. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the storyline. There's something that's telling me that there might be a nullification in this fight. There's something that's telling me that Khabib is going to have a lot of respect for Tony Ferguson. He is going to try to go for the takedown and try to dominate. But I think earlier in the fight, Khabib's going to see frustrations in that and see dangers in that. And it might end up with him trying to hold Ferguson against the fence and not play in the open space or play in the open mat with him. Because Ferguson's so crafty off of his back. So it might be one of those cases where they nullify each other a little bit. And then if it's on the feet, if it gets in open space, you got to give it to Tony, right? If it's against the fence, maybe Khabib could just make it boring and just hold on to him, you know, and keep on level changing and then coming back up and level change. You know, the fucking head and your fucking neck and shit. I think Khabib's going to try to make this the most boring fight of all time. That's the only way he's going to win this fight. Khabib's going to be too strong. Rubber guard. Yeah, Ferguson all flexible and shit. Snap jitsu. Tony get pushed out with some Roy BS. Conor is replacement rigged. Imagine if Tony pops for steroids. If Tony mysteriously comes up with something before this fight, you got to think. I mean, that whole fucking cord thing that Tony tripped over was really weird when that happened. Like, first of all, what the fuck you walking around with sunglasses on? Like, inside. Like, I understand you're trying to be cool and shit like that, but, you know, there's wires on the floor and shit. You tripped over a wire and you're out of the fight. Like, I mean, it's the weirdest. Maybe it's a curse. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe they just didn't want the fight to happen. I don't know. See that tweet about everyone training shoulder strikes this week? So, Dude Chronic, you're going to bring me into this whole little thing. And look, 92 likes, get to 100 for the boys. Chael Sonnen, I was watching him. I can only watch bits and pieces because you know what I think about this? Conor McGregor. Like, I'm like, oh, just talk normal. Anyway, so I saw he was talking about something quickly about the shoulder strike hitting Cowboy Cerrone's nose and breaking his nose. And he confirmed it. Apparently, Chael and Cowboy are good friends, right? So, fucking Chael Sonnen. I can't get through his videos. I can't sit through... And his videos are, what, 6 minutes maybe? They're not even that long. I can't fucking get through it! And I like Chael Sonnen. He was like my favorite fighter, Chael. Funny as all fuck, but for some reason, you know... Anyway, he said he broke his nose with the shoulder strike. I guess it's legit. I guess that shit works. Cerrone is a boom.
Man, you better back up or you're going to go to
Carnage.
sleep. Man, you need to back up or you can go to sleep too.
Who has a bigger schlong? Ngannou, The Mountain, Bobby Lashley, or Joel Embiid?
I'm going to have to go with Ngannou. That guy's cock, I feel, is wrapped around his ankle. Like, if he let it all unravel, I think he has the biggest cock. Love Chael, but I never watch his vids, says Shannon. I like him too. I think Chael Sonnen, when he was fighting and he was like his lead-ups to fights, I thought were great. His WWE shit that he would do. I even liked watching him fight in his later part of his career. I think Chael's great. You know, he's a lot of fun, but god damn, that fucking the bad guy shit. Oh, you know? Super chat. Conor McGregor. Oh.
Ferg most decorated wrestler to fight Cobering.
Mike says Ferg. Hold on, let me see. Ferg most decorated wrestler. And it kind of went, let's see, it kind of went off. Most decorated wrestler to fight Khabib. That's why I didn't get it. Ferguson, no, with the jiu-jitsu. But you're saying most decorated. Well, he does have the wrestling too. I'm telling you, it's every skill. He's got everything. Mixed martial artist. Tony Ferguson as a mixed martial artist is a problem for Khabib. Is the biggest problem for Khabib. That's how I put it. Chael is too expressive. Yeah. I get it. I don't. It works though for him because the guy's got a gazillion views and, you know, he's uploading short videos that are shareable and rewatchable, I guess. So he's doing it right. He's playing the YouTube game correctly, and he's a very smart guy. He's been in the cage, which he has an edge over me or any other knucklehead sitting on the couch. So he's very smart in that aspect. But you know, it's funny. Like, I'll listen to the guy, and this is the interesting thing, right? And this is, I guess I got to toot my own horn for a second. I never do that, right? Here I am, Joe Schmo. And let's be honest, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just a fan, okay? I've been saying this for 3 years. I'm just a fan. I love mixed martial arts. I love the UFC. I mean, the UFC I love. I absolutely love it. I could talk about it all day long. I could just bore you to death and just bullshit about it. And possible matchups and this and that. Like, I just like talking about it. It's just fun for me, right? But here I am sitting on the couch, right? And I watch every fight. Doesn't mean I know everything. I don't know half the positions. I don't know anything. I'm just watching it and liking it. It's a fucking fight in a cage. It's great. And then I hear I'll come up with a thought or a theory about a fight, right? And I'll say it on the show. And then I'll listen to Chael Sonnen and I'll say, "What the fuck? It's the same fucking thing I just said." I'm watching him like 4 a.m. the other night. I'm like, I said the same fucking thing earlier on the show. How does a fucking schmuck like me say the exact same thing as a guy that's been in the cage, under the lights, in the situation, getting hit with the 4-ounce gloves, playing the whole game? That goes to tell me that me, you, everyone else, we all know the same shit. We're all watching the same fucking thing. That's what's great about this. You know, we could just sit here and just enjoy the shit, and we're talking just like the fucking pros. Chael Sonnen saying nothing different than you or me. It's kind of crazy. So it's a matter of who you can tolerate the most. I think that's what it is. You know, you sit there. I like that guy. I like that girl. I'm going to watch them. I guess that's what it is. When I'm stumped, I ask Boss Koger. I do too. People kiss his ass 90% of the time in the comments, his presence. Dude, I mean, and it's like the other guy. I'm just going to call him the other guy. That's uncalled. You know that big ogre guy with the beard? It's like that guy. People think this guy's the Messiah. They think he's the fucking Messiah. I cannot watch his live streams anymore. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm going with here. That other guy. Used to work for MMA fighting. Now he's with Showtime. Sucking off Brendan Schaub and doing that shit too. That other guy. I don't understand. People are just fucking... And now this guy has never been in the octagon, never done any of that stuff. And people are like, oh my God, you're a genius. You watch all these guys and the audience is just fucking blowing them. What is that? At least we're over here busting each other's balls, having some fun, shooting the shit, sipping on the old Budweiser, hanging with the boys. I need a nipple on this thing. I keep on forgetting it's here. This is the place to be, man. This is the place to be. One day we're in the studio. One day we're playing fucking video games on the other channel or Jessie's IRL streaming. Sometimes we're sitting on the fucking couch just sipping on a little Bud Light. This is the place to be. See this, boys? See what I'm doing here? Pat myself on the back. Crack a cold one with the boys. That's right. Who's the fat guy who always gets to ask the first question? So, Duke, that's the guy from MMA Fighting. No, MMA Junkie.
Super chat.
Nix.
Think Conor will get a fight in Ireland?
In Ireland, fuck. I'm going to go with no. I know he wants it so bad, but I don't think the logistics will line up. I don't think that would happen. I think you have a better shot at the Russia thing before Ireland. I hope he does. Because that place, like when they fight in that little place in Ireland, when they do like in Bellator, when Bellator has fights over there, they have it at that little arena or whatever the fuck. It's like banging, everyone's going crazy. It would be cool to see Conor do a stadium in Ireland, but I don't think it's gonna work. And the time and shit. Chael is the original shit talking badass. He started it in the cage. Yes. I agree with you. In the cage he started it. But, you know, playing this game here that we play, this game here is average Joe shit. Now, if you want to talk about UFC fighters commentating for the UFC, like doing color commentating, those should all be UFC fighters. Like when people were going crazy about that dude, the fake Joe Rogan, what was his name? The fuck's his name? The guy who used to work for Bellator. He was with the UFC. Steve Buscemi? No, fuck was his name? You guys know. Anyway, when they fired him and they started bringing in UFC guys, I believe UFC fighters should be analysts. They should be the guys on the, like Karen Bryan is always with the UFC fighters and stuff like that. Those should be professional fighters or former fighters for sure. But when it comes to the YouTube game, I mean, unless you want to listen to fight breakdowns and like with the guy, that big guy with the beard, that guy, that tall guy with the big bear claws. If you would hear him talk and listen to him, you would think that man has been a multi-champion, multi-world class UFC champion, triple quadruple champion, the way he talks and breaks down fights. I'm like, I am not going to break down a fight. I'm Joe Schmo. Well, why is he breaking down a fight? You weren't in the UFC. I don't want to hear what you, I don't care. Jimmy Smith, thank you. Daniel Trent, you fucking celebrity, you savage. You're the best. Jimmy Smith was his name. UFC and boxing. They can't even manage the UFC. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, they keep talking about boxing with it, and then Mayweather and all this, and then it kind of goes away. Dan Hardy's legit. Dan Hardy, I've said this before, he looks like he could be a complete cunt, but the guy's fucking smart. Like Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz, I met him coming out of a bathroom. Took a picture with him. Very nice guy. But he has a cunty attitude. Like, you can tell he could be a cunt, but dude, the guy's smart. That's a guy I want to hear. Dan Hardy, Dominic Cruz, what's it called? Daniel Cormier. Like, those are guys I want to hear. Even Paul Felder. Paul Felder, he's very smart, but there's something that's weird that I just don't want to listen to him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a ginger thing. Like, I'm like, too many gingers. I don't know. There's something about Paul Felder I don't care. Daniel Cormier I think is good. I think Dominic Cruz is all right for sure. And Dan Hardy's great. He's very good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, guys? Do you guys hear me? Michael Bisping's another one. Like, sometimes I want to listen to him, and sometimes I'm like, shut the fuck up. I think you're just doing the shtick. You know what I mean? Bas Rutten. That guy's good, yeah. And he's got charisma. Right, Jessie? What? Hi. How you doing in Fortnite? You want to sit with the boys? You want to hang with us? We got a lady in the chat, so you can join in with the ladies. Should we let the girls in? What do you think? The girls sit with the boys?
How many people think that Mystic Moss should continue to do this every Tuesday night?
It's a lot of work.
Ask Mystic.
It's a lot of work. I don't know.
I'm thinking this is something that works, Moss. People like this.
Yeah, you think so?
People like hanging out with just Mystic Moss.
What do you think, boys and girls?
Some MMA.
Should we do it every Tuesday? Tuesday for the boys?
Let's do it all at once.
All right. Pale says yes. Let's do it with the one. Yeah, hit with the one if you want it, and a dose if you like. Nah, drop that shit.
Every Tuesday night. Ask Mystic. Talk about MMA.
Vigo, Mike Jones.
Fuck around.
Monthly. Oh, Henry Sosa says just do it monthly. Go James. Sure. A couple of ones over here. All right. Hell yeah.
I'm telling
Tuesday
you.
for the boys.
I'm even enjoying watching it. I'm listening to you in there while I'm playing Fortnite. And it's really listenable. It's really fun. No
Thank you,
joke.
Jessie. That's why I keep her around. Every once in a while, she has to say a nice thing. She's paid to do that.
I'm not. I'm serious. It's actually fun to listen to. Because you, like, fuck around, you know? Like, it's not all serious and business, you know? Like, you can fuck around with them, make jokes, get off topic, and...
Yeah. Or I don't go,
You know, the essence of the sport is when you get in the cage and it's just you and your other opponent. The lights are on you. The cage closes. It's about the mental warfare between you and that other person. I'm Robin Black and I like to...
Not.
what? He follows us on Twitter. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Should I do that for you guys?
Strawberry fields.
There's so many people I can't listen to. I just can't do it. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Every Tuesday night, ask Mystic.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Never met y'all, but you're a family. Yeah, there goes Arian. Family. This community's awesome. This is a family, for sure. Just how good is JBH as hunter-gatherer? She's great. The half beat is all Luke says. The half beat. More ads? Left my ass off. Hey man, Robin at least got to the cage. Don't be hating. So Robin has competed, yes. And listen, he's way more of a badass than me because he's actually been in a cage and fought. But he's never fought in the UFC. So my logic is this. And listen, all respect. Listen, I've interviewed guys. The amateur fighters have way more ball sacks than I have over here, for sure. I've seen it up close, and it's a crazy world. I have nothing but respect. But I can't break down a UFC fight because that is the top level shit. If someone's gonna break that shit down, like, you should listen to them like they're the Messiah. They should have at least competed in the UFC. Presence.
I thought it was just me when it comes to Chael.
Presence, yeah. Listen, I don't hate Chael. I actually, out of all of them, I like Chael the best because I liked him as a fighter. I loved his shit talking and all that stuff. It's just that bad guy thing that he puts out there. I want to hear his opinion, but I can't. You know what? Like I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me, at least. Monsters are better than Robin Black any day. Listen, everyone's got their audience. So that's the thing. Like, as much as I rip on these people, they have an audience. Like, if Robin Black goes live on something, people will listen and people will worship him. Luke Thomas goes live. Well, I mean, that guy with the beard, he goes live. You know? The reason why I'm saying that, should I say the reason? I don't know if I should say it. Maybe I'll tell you on another stream. But he's that guy with the beard. Yeah. How about Cowboy's grandma after the fight? Pretty petty, boss. Oh, I said he said pretty. I was like, what? Petty? What did she do? She gave Conor a big hug. Mosh should fight Luke Thomas for chat. I would die. The guy, I've met him multiple times. He was very nice to us. He's come on the MMA-Holes. We've had him on the MMA-Holes. You know, but that's enough. That's enough. I'm going to talk about him because I had enough. I'm at this point right now, and I told Jessie this. I feel we're better than everyone else. I really do. I feel this channel as a whole is more entertaining than any of the other bullshit because we're not preaching to you. We're having fun. We're talking shit. I like certain fighters. You like certain fighters. We watch fights together. We bullshit. We party. We have a couple of drinks. We hang out. It's not fucking serious. We're just horsing around over here. These other guys, they take it so fucking serious. Like, the way they break down these fights and then they preach to you. They'll clip videos and preach to you about shit. It's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? What are you preaching about? Oh, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta. Look what you did. Look what you started. I'm getting heartburn. I've had enough. It's time for a new. Well, listen, we've the real group, the real community. Not this fucking suck off, like cocksucking, whatever the hell. Preach to me bullshit. Hi, Mike.
Cowboy versus Barboza or Cowboy versus Lee or Cowboy v number 15.
Cowboy Barboza. I could do that. Cowboy Lee. That's a problem for Cowboy, I think. I like Cowboy Barboza. But isn't Barboza going down? Isn't he going to 145? I think Edson's going to 145. And Lee is fighting... fuck, what would be next for Cowboy? Let me look at the rankings. That's one I can't even... I would hate to be a matchmaker and say, okay, here's your next fight, Cowboy. Like, what do you throw to the guy? Let's see, next for Cowboy. What do you guys say in the chat? I really, like, that's something I really got to sleep on and think about, you know? Because you kind of want to give him someone, you know, lower ranked. Kind of like how they gave him, what was his name? Hernandez, the hype train dude. Like, I kind of would like to give him a guy that's coming up. And then the question is, where does he fight? Is it at 170 or 155 again? Fuck. I don't know, man. Cowboy Cerrone, I don't know. You know, a lot of people in the chat are saying retire, but he's not going to. He's not going to do it. Barboza beat Felder. Retirement. Cowboy versus Ben Askren. Cowboy versus Luke Rockhold. Huh? Luke Rockhold? I want to see Rockhold fight Weidman. I want to see the rematch. As like, loser retires. Weidman versus Rockhold. That's what I'd like to see. The retirement fight. Super chat Knicks.
Will Cowboy sit out a while after this?
You know what? He got paid. I would think any other fighter you would say yes, but Cowboy's not like that. So no, I'm going to go with no. And he's not getting any younger. Was he 38? So I'm going to say no. Double KO in that fight. It's the Drunk Savage. Weidman and Rockhold. Double KO, please. Cowboy versus Dan Hardy. I like that. Dan Hardy, the man that has been trying to come out of retirement for the last 17 years. Versus Cowboy Cerrone. Who said that? Mac D, the flying shithead. I like that. Why not? Hopefully Cowboy isn't going to be the next BJ Penn. I really like that. That's actually that's a good one. I actually like the Cowboy versus Askren. I truly believe Askren is done. Cowboy versus Mayweather. Oh God. Yeah, Hardy's been talking about forever. I'll believe it when I see it, but if he does, Cerrone Hardy, that'd be cool, man. Cowboy versus Wonderboy. Wonderboy is, dude. Wonderboy's in this zone. After that last fight, it looks like he found his he found his groove again. That dude is he's gonna be right in the mix for a title. If he hits another win, he looked great in his last fight. It surprised the hell out of me. It's nice to see Wonderboy bounce back, and he's got his own YouTube thing going too. So he's looking at life after MMA. All right, let me look at this. I've been wasting time. So if Cowboy stays at 170, where do you go? What if you run it back with like Robbie? Oh, Robbie's got a fight coming up. Super chat. What we got?
Fuck you, ESPN. I love them holes. Italian Boom Squad.
Italian Boom Squad, motherfucker. Yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you, man. That was really nice of you. Domenico Dorigo. Where you from, Domenico? I see that's not the U.S. currency. Where you from, buddy? Thank you very much. That's awesome. All over the world hanging here on a Mystic Tuesday. I love it. I fucking love hanging out with you guys. I love it. This was actually kind of fun. My Rangers lost tonight. They played the Islanders. They lost 4-2. They should have lost 4-0. So I'm depressed. That's why I'm here. Super chat.
Shop may be the biggest fashion femdouche on any MMA podcast, but he did somehow, some way, manage to KO Pro Cop.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. All right, let's talk about Brendan Schaub. You want to go there? Let's do it. Thank you for the 5 spot, man. Titty grab for the 5. Brendan Schaub is another one where I have to fast forward 20 minutes of the comedy thing. Like, okay, I just got off the plane when I was touring in this place, and I fucking just did a set at fucking Nobu or whatever the hell. I don't know. Anyway, I I have to fast forward that, and then I would like to hear an opinion here and there. I'd like to hear what other people say. It's nice, right? But I don't hate Brendan Schaub. Like, it's weird. Like, there are some times where Brendan Schaub, he comes across as the guy off the couch, but he actually competed in the UFC. So he's like a blend of a casual fan and an actual UFC fighter morphed into one person. I think that is what makes Brendan Schaub popular, you know? I think that's his allure. The problem I have is the stand-up comedy thing is so bad that it hurts my soul. And, you know, sometimes he says things within the MMA world where you just scratch your head. But I don't mind that because he's giving the casual side of the opinion. Like, it's bizarre. You hear a casual opinion from a guy that's competed in the UFC. So there's something about that people are attaching themselves to. So I give him credit for that. But the whole comedy thing and yeah, man, like, I don't know. I think that's the problem that I have with him. Is he the worst? No, there's worse, I think. Is he the best? No. It's not us. It's not the MMA-Holes. Brendan has female parts. I think so. The way he sits, I think he does. He's more popular because of Rogan. Yeah, Rogan helped him a lot. But you know what? At least he admits that. It's not like he's saying, I did this all by myself. Like, he does pat himself on the back, but a lot of times he's giving thanks to Rogan. And he sucks Rogan off hard when they do that, you know, sit down together in Rogan Studios. So Rogan ain't funny either. Listen, he's brilliant. But and what he did with the podcasting game, I can never attack Rogan for that. But yeah, I'm not into his humor either. His last stand-up special on Netflix wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad one, but I've heard others and they were really bad. So, but everyone has their own sense of humor. So I guess comedy is like, everyone has their own taste, you know, just like food. Some people like pasta, some people like a good steak. And they have different tastes. When it comes to Brendan Schaub, I don't think anyone likes his comedy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Schaub's comedy special flopped hard. It's terrible. It's bad. I don't know how many people in the chat seen Schaub's. But I mean, he's not a comedian. Like, he comes across like he is, but he really isn't. Like, how long has he been doing it? Yeah, Theo now that Theo guy, he was wasn't he in like The Real World or some shit? I remember that dude from The Real World. I don't know how the hell he became a comedian, but wasn't he on MTV? That's where I remember him from. MMA-Holes is the best hangout. Yeah, that's right. Was it Road Rules? I know he's from MTV. And he went from MTV. How about like MTV? They had him. He went into fucking comedy and somehow morphed into with the MMA world too. And then you have Joey Diaz is funny. I'm with you on that. But fuck. And then you got that other guy, The Miz, who came from MTV and went to WWE. It's kind of weird. Road Rules. Anyone in the chat watch that? I used to watch the challenge shows, like the Real World Road Rules challenge shit. I used to watch that shit back in the day. Like when they combined them and they would do like weird shit competing against each other. What up? 2 joints in the chat. 2 joints in the chat, baby. Yo, we got 111 likes. Yeah, baby. The Miz from The Real World. Yeah, I do remember that. The Immigrant Mentality. Yeah, the fucking Joey Diaz is funny. That dude, I love that. And he's another one, like his podcast. I don't really listen to his podcast because he kind of gets in that world. And he just, even when he has a guest on, he doesn't let the guest talk. He's like, yeah, you know, cocksucker, when I was back in the day, I used to do this and that, and there was this fucking girl's pussy smelled so fucking good. And he's just going on, and the guest is there just like, yeah. And it's just Joey Diaz just fucking babbling. I feel if you have a guest, you should talk to the guest. No? But he's a funny guy. I took my first MMA class today. They didn't do any shoulder throwing. I don't know if I'm going back. That place doesn't know what they're doing if they're not fucking bumping shoulders. That should be the first thing you learn, right? See the kids doing it to each other? Someone takes your fucking lunch money. You just roll the shoulder into their face. Oh, God. You can't make this shit up. Only Conor McGregor, right? Only Conor McGregor would have a fucking shoulder go into someone's nose and break it. And you're like, what? The fuck? God damn. I kind of want to do that, though. Like, God forbid I ever get... Let me knock on wood. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want to fight anymore. I did that when I was a kid. I don't want to fight anymore. But God forbid I was in a bar. Or say if I'm in a bar and something happens. Someone bumps into Jessie or something. Like, oh, fuck. I got to do something about this. Listen, don't bump into her, please. What you gonna do about it? I'll try it out. See if it works. Use your judo throw. That's true. I am a white belt in judo. It's true. What did I do here? Oh, shit. I lost you guys. Hold on a second. You guys back? You still there? All right. I got a little excited. See my fucking shoulder bump? Fucking knocked the stream off. It's my chip shoulder. Shoulder to the Vigo. Honestly, for you, Cerrone sold that match, says Domenico DeRigo. No, I had a friend text me today, too. There are so many people saying that Cowboy dove or Cowboy this and that. You hear Chael Sonnen, right? And listen, say what it is. Chael's good friends with Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy says he broke his nose. I'm just going to have to go with it. Watching the fight back and seeing Cowboy's reaction after the second shoulder hit his face, dude, it looked like something fucked up happened to his face. Either he's an extremely good actor, which he is in a movie that's coming up with Mark Wahlberg. It looks terrible. Maybe he's a great actor. I don't know. But then, I mean, how do you explain the other series of events? A friend texted me today and said, but Cowboy didn't even throw a punch. It's because he didn't have a chance to. He threw a kick. That didn't work out too well. It even looked like when he ducked under the left, it looked like he was going to go for a takedown. Conor kind of went to throw a knee into the situation. That really didn't land. And then the shoulders would start the party. I mean, say what you want about Conor McGregor. If you don't like him, that's fine. But to say that was a fixed fight, I think you guys are just ready to say it was that from the beginning. That was a nasty knee that Conor threw too. Yeah, if that knee connected, could you imagine if that knee fucking hit him on the chin? That was Masvidal 2.0 right there. He was looking for it. But how about Conor coming in with the left, like he's swinging it like from fucking the Neverland Ranch? Woo! Just coming around, missed. Cowboy ducked underneath, almost got eaten by a knee. Yeah, Jimmy Smith, Travis. That's right. That's right. Someone corrected me earlier today. Early in the stream, excuse me. I'm going to wind this thing down soon. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about, we'll go for it. But I appreciate your company tonight. This is fun. Bullshitting on a Tuesday. Ask Mystic. Just hang out. Maybe we'll do more of these if you guys like. How's the elbow? It's better. It is. I have inside my elbow, I have, let's see, right over here. It hurts right in here. But it's not to the point where I can't bend my arm anymore. So I can bend my arm, which is good. It's kind of like a weird tingle, almost like a weird itch inside too. So I'm assuming it's healing. But I have to go to the doctor in a week, I think. I like Conor, but it was rigged. So Rick says, I like Conor, but it was rigged. Now, let me ask you, Rick, did you pay for the pay-per-view? That's another thing. I noticed a lot of people that actually paid for the pay-per-view are saying it's rigged. Maybe, I mean, I've been there before when Mike Tyson fought, right? And he would knock a guy out early. And I was like, oh, this is fixed, you know? And there was a situation where Mike Tyson was fixed. Was it McNeely? Was this the guy's name? Peter? What was the guy's name that took the fucking dive? But we've seen fights that were fixed. And if this was a fix, this was a damn good sell. So Rick says he didn't buy the pay-per-view. So you borrowed the pay-per-view that night. And you're saying, so that means to tell me that your stream wasn't super clear. You didn't have it in HD. Did you watch a replay of a clear version of it? Boxing is fixed. That wasn't fixed. All right, let's take a vote in the chat. Was it fixed? Yes or no? Just give me a yes or no if it was fixed. But boxing is fixed. Yes, I agree with Deranged. There has been some fights that were draws that like, what? All right, so I see a couple of no's here. Oh, a lot of no's. All right, so at least there's some sensible people here. Jeremy says yes. King James, but there's a hell of a lot of no's. Flat Earth, Community, John Jr., Opuful, Shannon. Pale Monkey. Whoa. Okay, all right. I feel better now. Oh, thank God. Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but if a shitload of yeses started popping up, I might have had to resign. I'd let Conor knock me out for $4 million. Yeah, I mean, listen. There was a time where people said, would you take a punch from Mike Tyson for X amount of dollars? And listen, money talks. When you're you or me, yeah. But Cowboy Cerrone, come on, man. Come on. Like, it's not even like a fighter that I can think of the... I like thinking of that weird angle. Like, to say, well, maybe it could have happened, you know? This is Cowboy Cerrone. Like, am I crazy for thinking that it's impossible for a guy like Cowboy? It's not in his soul. This is a guy that showed up no matter what to take a fight. He doesn't give a fuck. This guy's coming off of a jet ski with like 2 weeks notice. I'll fight that guy. Like, he don't give a fuck. This is a badass gunslinging son of a bitch that wants to take your head off and put on a show. Why would he take a dive? It's crazy. It's crazy. Welcome back, Justin. Conor is a Gaylord, but she won fair and square. Moss is Conor, Dana's boy. Yeah. Conor is Dana's boy, sure. I mean... He's got to be Dana's boy. I mean, those guys made a lot of money together. Marcus Brimage lasted longer than Conor Cerrone did. Let that sink in. Oh, my goodness. Marcus Brimage? Like, way back in the day? We're talking about Conor then. And do you think Conor then beats Conor now? Think about that. Let that sink into your head. The Conor McGregor that is fighting right now, like with this mindset, knowing what he's been through, do you think that Conor McGregor beats this Conor McGregor? No. No. Conor is the UFC. Question from Moss. What do you think of my Mario Yamasaki joke? Yes, I did see that with your last interview. It was funny. That was pretty funny. I like that. That was pretty funny. Pretty sure they're the same guy. Cowboy, what, Conor? Dude, come on. Oh my goodness. Pulse. Come on, man. I mean, let's be serious here. Let's be serious. Let me put it to you this way. If you want to say the Conor McGregor that fought Eddie Alvarez versus the Conor McGregor now, when Conor fought Eddie Alvarez, he was at this all-time high where he was just like, he was unbeatable. Now, you had the Nate Diaz situation, but he learned from the Nate Diaz situation, the first fight, right? So you had a guy that took the L in a big spot and learned everything the whole way up. Like, that Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor was raw. That was him. Like, that was peak. We don't know what we're going to see from this point on. But the Conor McGregor that beat Brimage, come on, man. It's not the same guy. That was a masterpiece against Eddie. I mean, and he tore him down mentally, and then when he was in there, I mean, he just did his thing. He did his thing. It was pretty wild. Eddie Alvarez and the people that fucking were like, oh, Eddie was a bum. He was a shitty champ. Conor got humbled when he lost. He is now back to reality. Yeah, I think a Conor McGregor. Now, the 2 losses were big. Even the Mayweather loss, that's big. You know, these are fights that he genuinely thought that he was better than God. Like he legit thought he could fight everyone and beat everyone. And now he takes a couple of L's in different situations, different big spots after talking a big game. Now you have a more humbled version. Who the fuck knows? He's only 31. I mean, think about that. Only 31 years of age. You are stuck with more McGregor. A lot more McGregor. I think we're going to end it on that. Just let that sink into your mind, into your soul. If you don't like Conor McGregor, now's the time to get the fuck out of the game because you're going to see a lot of them. There's going to be a lot of... You're stuck with him. So whether you like him, whether you hate him, it doesn't matter. You're stuck watching them. All right. Make sure you smack the like. Appreciate your company and your time. Let us know in the comments section down below if you want more Ask Mystic, if you had some fun. and we'll do some more. You know, if the feedback's good, the likes are up and whatever, you guys are sharing the shit out of this shit, I'm going to keep coming back and doing some more of this shit. But if not, we'll be back on Wednesday, Thursdays, Friday, Monday, or every other night. So peace out. Love you guys. Wonderful, wonderful. Don't be an a-hole, be an MMA